Hey guys, and welcome out to Gamescast episode 47. I am your host, Theo Gizmo, joined this week by Master of Das, Chris Pengelly.
Hello, everyone.
And of course, Xbox Game Pass's very own CW Lanky.
Hello.
So we've got a bit of a new format. You can't see our beautiful faces. I mean, I could flick Craig's face on every now and then when the time calls for it, but we're changing things up, doing things differently. We will see how that works. So, before we get too deep into what the main topics of the show are this week, let's talk to everyone about what they've been playing, what they've been buying. Let's start with Pengy. Pengy, what have you bought, what have you played, what have you been believing in this week?
Right, so I have bought nothing this week. Which
Everyone sound the
shock.
klaxon. It's the Pengals not buying one klaxon.
The thing is, that means that next week it would be like 10 games.
Oh, hell yeah.
But actually, I say I've not bought anything. I've just subscribed to PlayStation Plus Premium, so that cost me £12 because I got a
Welcome,
voucher.
brother.
So I guess I bought a month of PlayStation Plus Premium for £12 because I got a voucher from a website for 12 for the 50, because instead of the £15. So I guess that maybe counts. And then what I've been playing, and I've only played one game this week, and that is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD.
No, that's different. That's the Avengers. Yeah, cool. You
That's
played it
it,
on
yeah.
Xbox One, right? Xbox Series Dex.
Yeah, I played it on Series X because I've got it on disc, and obviously there's a disc drive in the Series X, backwards compatible. It's one of the few games that has no enhancements though, so there's no auto HDR, there's no frame rate boost, there's nothing. So literally I could have played the PS3 version, I would have got the same experience. That's why I originally played it on Series X, because I was hoping it was going to have all that fancy backwards compatible stuff, but it didn't have anything, unfortunately. That's where I played it. I decided to play it now, even though it was in the backlog challenge, because it was like the one mainline Metal Gear game I hadn't played, because it was the Vita Island Game Club's game this month as well, because it's on the PSP and it's obviously backwards compatible on the Vita via the PSP digitally. So I thought, well, seeing they're playing it now and it's on my backlog, I would play it. So yeah, I played that, and surprisingly, there was a few people still online as well on the 360 version. So I managed to get some co-op in as well, or co-ops as it's called on that. So
Very clever.
so I managed to do the last sort of mission in Chapter 5 because it's got two endings. So you have the Peace Walker story, which is Chapter 1 through 4 and stuff like that, and then you have another chapter after that, which just had a little bit to Peace Walker, but actually sets up Ground Zeroes more than anything, because it ends pretty much what would be the start of Ground Zeroes. So that's pretty good. So I managed to do that in co-op. Didn't get the achievement though, and I can only think I didn't get the achievement because I was fighting someone else's character, and not my character. If without spoilers and stuff like that, even though the game is quite old.
It is.
Yeah, but no spoilers. That's the only reason I can think of why. Because from true achievements and stuff like that, it sounds like I should have got the achievement. But the only thing I can fathom is maybe it's because you got to fight your own version of this enemy. And I wasn't. I was fighting some voodoo doll something or other's version, because good old Xbox gamer tags from 360 era, I guess. But the game itself still holds up pretty well. There's a few areas you can still tell it's a PSP game. Just hop res, like some of the foliage and stuff like that looks a bit low, but Snake looks good. The enemies look pretty decent. The cutscenes are all done in graphic novel style with Shinkawa's art, which fine on the TV and stuff like that. But I can see why they would have done it on the PSP, the cool comic book style, where you can't do an hour long cool cutscenes like you can do on the PS3 with Guns of the Patriots. So I can kind of see that. And then the mission structure, you just pick a mission and they're 1 to 20 minutes long. Again, makes sense for a handheld and stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to play a quick mission. I've done that quick mission, move on. Obviously, it's from playing 5 before this and then going back, you can really see the basis of 5 from there, because that has the same sort of mission structure. But in 5, you have missions that are like hours long, where in this, like, I think my longest one was like 25 minutes, sort of thing. Again, makes sense for a handheld. And that, I feel if I played it back in the day on the PSP, I don't really know why I missed it, because I played Kingdom Hearts, I played like Crisis Core and stuff like that on the PSP. I don't know how I missed a Metal Gear game on the PSP. I feel I would have liked it more than I did, but now playing it, like, games have improved, Metal Gear games have improved. Like, you look at Phantom Pain, which does a lot what this does, and even though it does do Metal Gear things with the story, it's not as silly as you would get with other Metal Gear games. So I feel it loses something there. But maybe if I played it like 15 years ago, or even longer than that, mostly like 20 years ago now, maybe I would have liked it more than I did. And that's it. That's all I've played. Metal Gear and subscribing to PlayStation Plus.
That's you off the mark on the backlog challenge as well, isn't it? That's
Yep.
Finally.
So you're now on a solid one. And there's an interesting stat I've got here, boys.
Yeah.
In the 1.5 years we've been doing the backlog challenge, that's the first Japanese game Pengels has beaten from his backlog.
Nice.
That's a horrifying stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So on Peace Walker's weird because I think it's probably pound for pound my favourite Metal Gear Solid game. I haven't beaten many, but like Chris said, at the time on the PSP, it was perfect for handheld. Lots of cool quick base missions, lots of weird hidden cameos. It's not really a spoiler, but there is a Monster Hunter fight.
Yeah,
which is weird because it's not Capcom, it's Konami, but
yeah, that must be what the movie's based on. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, the
soldiers fighting.
Specifically built off the one hidden mission from Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on the PSP.
Yeah.
Love that. And fun fact, I have Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on Japanese UMD Pengi. It's one Japanese import game I have for some reason. Obviously, it's a die-hard Metal Gear Solid fan. That's why I've got it. But yeah, Peace Walker's a great game. It's one of those, like, there's been lots of rumours about Metal Gear remakes soon. I would kind of love a Peace Walker remake, but it is, like you said, it's basically just Phantom Pain, but with a finished story. But yeah, good. Well, a good week for Pengi there. Nice, sensible week for Pengi, which is really the scariest thing of everything. So speaking of absolutely sensible, we'll move on to me first, because I'm going to talk a lot after this. So we'll have Craig last. Craig's got a pickup as well. We've taken the camera away from him. Oh, the shock. So what have I been playing this week? So I'm at the very last mission of Infamous Second Son on my expert mode, Be a Prick playthrough. I have been a prick throughout, Craig, don't you worry. And I've got all of those achievements and trophies, so I literally need to beat the final boss on the hardest setting, and then I think I've got one miscellaneous trophy left, and then I will have the platinum, and I will have replayed a game on the hardest setting for the first time in a long time. So,
was that the PS4 one that came out there to start the PS4?
Yes, it's the 2014 one with your Troy Baker. But it's so what they've done is they've obviously had a PlayStation Pro patch for this, so it has a performance mode, it has a high fidelity mode, it has HDR, and it looks great. Like, this is a 7-8-year-old game, and if I showed you, you'd be like, oh, that's a late PS4 game. Like, it looks great and it plays great. So credit to Sucker Punch for that. Obviously they just tend to make good games, but yeah, Infamous Second Son's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot, and that'll be smashed through by the end of today, hopefully. And other games I've been playing, I have started, and this is going to shock all of you, an indie game. I know.
Right.
The silence, and that is The Artful Escape.
It's a great one to pick.
It is on PS Plus Premium. And as Craig has told me in the past, quite an easy completion. So I thought, you know what, it looks quite pretty. I'll give it a go. Really impressed so far. Obviously, I'm playing it on PS5, so I'm playing it with my 3D audio headset, and the sound is ridiculous. Like, the soundtrack is good anyway, but like all the special little effects you get with the 3D audio is just mental. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's about a 4-hour completion, right? So I'll probably have that done, maybe even by the end of the day as well. But yeah, really enjoying that. Really surprised me. And I'm sort of preemptively getting myself ready for the bit of indie games. Obviously next week we've got a big indie game coming out, which we're going to talk about later. So yeah, Artful Escape, and that's all I've played. I haven't bought anything because I can't. without forcing myself to play Resident Evil. So for now, that's it. So Craigo, what have you been playing?
So I'll do my pickup first. So I picked up from Dave Metroid Dread. A good old hand-me-down from Dave. Still sealed, so he somehow he finished it and then managed to reseal it. Genius man that he is.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So that might not be one that I play straight away, but who knows? It could be a backlog challenge game for next year. I might actually have a couple of physical backlog challenge games next year, which is exciting, right? Because I've got Monster Hunter that I got off Chris as well, which is that's sat there, so that could be on it. The world's changing. The world is changing. In terms of playing, I've not actually played that much. I've only played more Chorus on Xbox. Nice. I think I am looking at my true achievement page now. I am 11 and a half hours in. I've got a fair old whack of the achievements as well, 565. So I've done quite a bit. It feels like it's kind of going towards the end at this point. Still really enjoying it.
Craig's dying. I love that. He could have died for the last 10 minutes, but he waited until it was his turn to talk.
Still got man flu. But yeah, oh god, proper death. But yeah, still enjoying that. I would definitely recommend it. If you have Game Pass and you just want something different to play that you wouldn't normally play, just a very fun kind of pick up and play game. You can play it for half an hour before work or something, and leave it, and then come back to it with a quick resume later on and do a few missions. So yeah, really enjoying that one.
Obviously, now Craig probably needs to take a drink now. But Craig did actually buy another game, and he's forgotten about it because that's how much it means to him. But he also bought Far Cry 6 in the Amazon sale.
Nice.
Yeah, for £10 whole pounds.
£10. Some Ubisoft games are always cheap anyway, but that's because I think they're all going to come to a service at some point.
Yeah,
which will be made.
Yeah, but even for that, I don't know how much it is. I think it's 25 most other places. I don't know if it will go down.
The day after, it was 30 on everything.
Yeah, so that's another one. I probably will play that before next year, I suspect. So probably won't be on the backlog challenge next year, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's one that looked really fun, and I really enjoyed Far Cry 5. So yeah, jumping back into that is exciting.
You love an Ubisoft game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unlike Pengu. Anyway, to save Craig from his own self, we're going to move on to the newest section of the podcast, and by new I mean old, because we used to do this all the time. That Pengu is, of course, the news desk. So this is where Pengu would normally have a little sting prepared for us, but you'll have that ready for next week when you Pengu. A little musical thing. So we're going to do 5 news items today, which of course is what, Pengu?
Baker's dozen.
Correct. So we still got it. We remember how to do this. So what's going to happen is every week, myself or Pengu or Craigo will come up with 5-ish news stories, and from those news stories, we'll probably have the topic of the show. Just to, we got to the point where we were just sitting there the day before or the morning of trying to figure out what the hell to talk about. So I think talking about news, it just makes it maybe a little easier, and we'll see how the conversation flows. So, first news story, boys. First item on the Pengles report is Skate 4 is officially called Skate, and it will be free to play and have crossplay and cross progression. So this is reported by Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Alongside Full Circle revealing the Skate 4 is officially called Skate, the studios confirmed that it will be a free-to-play game on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and have crossplay and cross progression. So, either of you Skate fans?
No.
No, I don't think I've ever played a Skate game ever.
So I'm also not a massive Skate fan. I prefer Tony Hawk, but people have been really excited about this sort of reboot of this series. So it sounds like it's kind of going to go servicey. They've said they don't want to make it pay to win. They say they don't want to have maps behind paywalls and no loot boxes and that kind of thing. So it'll probably be cosmetic mainly.
Absolutely battle pass. It'll be a battle pass, and it's you got level 10. You've now got a new skateboard or some new wheels or a new pair of shoes or something, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's one of those it's kind of the modern thing. I think they don't want to take a risk on it, so if in their mind, I'm sure making it like this is probably the best way to get people to play it. I mean, I'd like to think probably at least a couple of us will try it. Now it's free to play. Like, I'll probably try it because it's free to play, but yeah, it doesn't. I think for long-term fans, this sounds scarier than it might be, but we will see. Can we trust EA, Craig? That's the question.
Absolutely not. Whenever I hear like Ubisoft or EA and free to play, I'm just like, oh, that's dead then. That's game over, man.
Game over, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have much hope or faith in this to start with, but hearing that to me is just like, yeah, I can't see it. I don't see the dream. I don't see the vision. I don't believe. I'm not Chris Mengele. And like I said, I was always much more of like a Tony Hawk's guy. I'd be much more excited if Big Daddy Phil could save Tony Hawk somehow.
Maybe.
As that division has killed it.
Yeah.
Well, no one likes Activision or EA, do they? So, news item number 2. This is one for Pengy.
Yeah.
We've actually got some accompanying media for this, Pengy.
Oh, excellent.
Bayonetta 3 has its release date, Pengy.
Yes,
which will be
exciting
October
times.
28th. And along with that news, they announced that it would have a naive angel mode, which means you can put some clothes on Bayonetta if you so desire. So if your girlfriend or your mother or your young child walks in and watches you playing with a weird witch, uses her hair as a weapon, you don't have to see her naked all the time. You can hide that you can hide your true self from the people you love and care
the thing
about.
is, it's gonna do all that weird like cover Bayonetta up and a few other things and that. You're still gonna have like the dialogue and and that of that game. So people walk in and they're still gonna hear. There's not like a naive dialogue mode as well. It's just sort of thing. But
It's just silence. There's no dialogue. They take it all out.
There's no dialogue now. Yeah, but it is exciting because, like I mentioned on the last week's thing, when I had Crisis Core on my top 3, Bayonetta was one I was thinking about because it had like nothing. It didn't even have, Crisis Core's got at least it's got winter. Like it had diddly squat Bayonetta. It was just, but now obviously it's got dated. I would mostly move that in like my most anticipated games now. Sort of thing. Plus, the first one's now getting a physical release on Switch, everywhere, and not in like a weird collector's edition. So, you'd be able to go back and play that. Hopefully, it's not that expensive, but then it's Nintendo, so I'm expecting it to be 50 quid.
Yeah, I mean, they've re-released this game on everything a few times now, haven't they? So, if you want to play Bayonetta 1, to be honest, as weird as it sounds, play it on like Xbox or PlayStation or PC.
It was given away on Gold ages ago.
It's on. It's been the 360 version's been given away. They have the HD remasters they did with Vanquish, and they've on Wii U. It was on Switch, so you can play Bayonetta 1. Bayonetta 2 obviously is exclusive to Nintendo, so it'd be weird playing it. Like playing the 60 frames 4K version of Bayonetta on Xbox One or PC, and then going back to playing on the potato Switch for 2 and 3 is a bit weird. But 3 looks great. So we will see, and they always, Platinum are masters at making things look better than they are. So, so your hype factor pretty high on this, Pengy. Do you reckon this is going to be one of your Game of the Year contenders?
Yeah, hype factor is pretty high. Like you said, it could be a Game of the Year contender for me because Bayonetta 2, I loved. It's like one of my favorite games on the Wii U, so I can't see why Bayonetta 3 would be any different. We got a new character as well, Viola. She seems to have a cat called Cheshire, which looks and it's called
the level of perfect timing you've just achieved. You won't really realise until you watch this video, by the way, Pengy. But go on.
Right, okay. Because the cat's called Cheshire, and he looks exactly the same as the doll that's in Bayonetta 1. Which is also called Cheshire and his cat. So there's obviously some
like
weird
the Cheshire
connection.
Cat from Alice in Wonderland, Penny. That's why.
Is that as well? But it's exactly the same as the doll in Bayonetta 1. But there seems to be a multiverse as well because there's another Bayonetta in the trailer as well, which is like clad in armor and stuff like that. So the multiverse seems to be coming to Bayonetta.
To everything, Pengy. Everyone loves a multiverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks so much like Devil May Cry 5. In its sort of more presentation than like actual gameplay, where it's kind of the throwing everyone's here plus a new guy. You know what I mean? It looks great. Like I must say, this is absolutely the best looking Switch game I've seen To be honest with you, I think it looks really good. So yeah, you tempted, Craigo, to jump into the series?
I mean, I'm open-minded. I see what it's like when it comes out, and it probably would depend on what else is out at a similar time as well. I did try the first one on Xbox when they gave it away, but I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't last very long. I didn't play that much. I found it a bit odd, and it did that thing where it was throwing too much stuff at me at once. There was too many buttons and too many combos, and I was just like, I can't keep up with this. This is too much, because I do enjoy those kind of like hack and slashy games, but I'm not good at them. I'm really bad. So I need a little bit of like hand holding and stuff like that if I'm going to play them. We'll see what it's like when it comes out. This is another game though, isn't it? Wasn't this just like randomly announced on Twitter this date?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's another one where they're just throwing them out there on social media, and instead it seems to be the new meta as opposed to the old doing it at presentations.
So Nintendo last week, because there was lots of rumors, Nintendo was going to have lots of stuff last week. They actually only ended up with, well, I guess 3 things you could say. So they had Bayonetta and 3, obviously dated, the announcement of the first one, physical collector's edition of 3, all that, good stuff. They also announced a new Kirby game called Kirby Dream Buffet, which looks like a bit like Fall Guys, but only 4-player. With Kirby, because you're going around the map eating strawberries, and the biggest Kirby at the end is the winning Kirby, so that could be fun on multiplayer. I'm hoping it's going to be free to play, because they have done that a few times with Kirby, but I honestly don't know if they'll do that or not. Nintendo, they could do anything. And then Pokemon Puzzle League was announced for N64. It came straight to N64, and they announced that they're going to have They announced there's going to be an announcement for more Nintendo Switch Online titles at some point. So Nintendo had a kind of busy week, but so yeah.
That's
It does just show like how much bigger like Summer Games Fest could have been if it had this was announced with a trailer, God of War was announced with a date with a trailer, like they did the Star Wars Jedi Revenge was announced just before on Twitter on it. Like it does just seem like people are just staying out the way of those shows now and just doing their own thing.
E3 is dead. Long live E3, right? That seems to be the thing. I mean, I missed. Me and Chris talked before. Like I missed the E3 way of just all being condensed in one week, but it doesn't actually make any sense, does it, nowadays? Because why would you want to get eaten up by bigger announcements, So
but yeah, because that Kirby game, I probably would have got totally annoyed if it was in a direct with Bayonetta, and I don't know what else Nintendo are going to show, but but if it's having its own day, like Kirby is trending on Twitter and stuff, it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And people do love the Curbster. Mm-hmm. But anyway, moving on from Nintendo, Penji, let's get on to our favourite subject. That's PlayStation. Greg's all here for this. So the first of our little PlayStation news topics. PlayStation Stars has been announced, which is a free and complete campaign and reward loyalty system.
Oh, I thought it was something about Nemesis chasing PlayStations, but obviously not.
Resident Evil jokes from Chris. That's what it's what you need in 2022, Craig. Resident Evil 3 jokes from Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I'm not going to read this whole PlayStation blog article. You can go on and read it. It's somewhat similar to the Xbox Game Pass reward system, the stuff that Nintendo is currently doing with its weird points like thing that you can do on there, right, Chris?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just another little reward system. There was a little worry that it was going to be NFTs because they wrote digital collectibles, but what they mean is avatars and all that kind of stuff, don't they? So people are over worrying about that. But yeah, it's a cool free thing to have. Like, it's nice to see PlayStation catching up the rest of the world and trying to make their fans happy. Craigo.
Yeah. Is it just like cosmetics, or is it like you can get like a month of
you can get PSN wallet funds, specific PlayStation Store products, additional.
I mean, you can't really complain. That is just, you're just getting points a lot of the time just for playing games, don't you? You don't even have to go out your way a lot of the time to get these points. And if you can, I know it takes quite a while on the Xbox One, but if you can get a £5 digital voucher out of nowhere just for playing games, that's, what more do you want?
And it makes sense.
Yeah,
they've got their own system, isn't it? Like Game Pass, they have PS Plus Extra and Premium now, so that's another good reason to have a system that helps that, you know.
Yeah, see, I've done that a lot with Xbox. For instance, like, saved up, points, managed to get a month of Game Pass Ultimate with my points, and then not having to like pay for Game Pass because I've, earned the points or whatever, sort of thing. So really good. Obviously, me and you, Dave, remember the old PlayStation thing, which I believe they
We
stopped
do.
doing, where they like we both got like a issue. I think it was 3 issues, wasn't it? Of the play, what was the PlayStation official
Yeah, it used to be
PlayStation magazine at the
PlayStation
time?
Plus benefits. Is what it used to be, like the main thing.
Mm,
Yeah, we got yeah, they had like Crunchyroll subscriptions, the PlayStation
mm.
magazine, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Then like Nintendo used to have like the old. They've sort of brought it back because they have a notebook for like Fire Emblem, Three
Oh,
Hopes,
Club
and
Club
stuff on
Nintendo
there.
used to be the best. Club Nintendo was so
Yeah.
good.
Because you used to be able to get soundtracks and figures, and
Games,
then those
everything.
figures used to go for like stupid money on eBay because you used to have like 800 million points to get a figure, and like
There are
no one could like
specific
ever save
one-off
up.
controllers, Craig. That'll make you really happy as someone who can never buy the controller he wants. But they used to
Mm.
on Nintendo. You used to be able to get specific controllers you could only get via Club Nintendo.
Yeah, so it's cool that like they're bringing it back, and like Nintendo, like I said, they've got like the notebook for Fire Emblem, and obviously you can unlock like your avatars. Like I got an avatar on my Switch of Mario Strikers of Rosalina and stuff like that, which is like 10 like platinum points, and then like if you play a game online, you get 20 points. So it's good that there's bringing it back, but they used to do so much more. It's but see, obviously PlayStation Stars are starting back up. Maybe will see some cool stuff, and there is like a figure of Kratos or something on there for like 1 million points or something like that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, it's not hurting anyone. It's all good fun.
Mm.
So, speaking of subscriptions, we're going to get onto one. It's going to be a regular part of this show, I would imagine, and that is subscription updates, boys. Obviously, Pengels has done the Nintendo one for us, so we're going to go on to Craig now, and we've got Xbox Game Pass adds another 5 games, Craig. So we've got Escape Academy, My Friend Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol the movie Adventure City Calls, Power Wash Simulator, and Overwhelm all joining the service as of the 14th of July. Overwhelm is only playable on PC Game Pass, just to confuse us all. So from these games, Craigo, you're our sort of expert in the room here. Are any of them calling your name?
Definitely not for me, but I know Power Wash Simulator is one that a lot of people like and are weirdly excited for. I know Sir Gary Whitta talked about it a lot on Kind of Funny. So I mean, what more of an endorsement do you need than that? I'm pretty sure Dan's quite excited to play it as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you're into those sort of games, then it sounds like it's a good one for you. I think like for Game Pass, there's some bigger stuff coming in a month of like Astor Schools and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like a little taster warm up, I guess.
Yeah, people talk quite highly of Escape Academy, to be fair. So that looks like quite a fun game. And obviously, My Friend Peppa Pig, Game of the Year. So
Hell yeah.
from our friend Reynolds Ayers Jr. Pengy, any thoughts?
Yeah, nothing for me in that bunch. I guess with like Peppa Pig and stuff, it's good that they're having a variety for like children and stuff like that. There's because you got your normal sort of like next week we got a Dust Falls, so that which I presume is like a 16 plus or a T for teen or something. So it's good that there's a bit of variety on there for the like younger people, and it's easy 1000G if you are wanting that as well, I guess, but nothing I will be playing.
Well, I wonder how long that completion is. Though apparently, I don't think this is the easy completion version, is it?
I wouldn't
Oh,
be able to
Peppa
tell you.
Pig. It's
Yeah.
45 minutes for the 1000G.
So you will be
Okay.
playing it then, Craig.
I've changed my tune. Yeah, Game of the Year right there. What a time to be alive. I'm
Yeah.
downloading it this week. I'm getting the free installing.
Or 60 megabytes. So, catching myself eating every time here, boys. On the other end of the spectrum, we've got our PlayStation Plus updates, Craigo. So, PlayStation Extra and Premium members will be able to get on the 19th of July Stray, for PS4 and for PS5, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for PS5, Marvel's Avengers for PS4 and PS5, and a selection of random games here. So we got Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, which I don't know why they've leaked as a separate game, but anyway, Assassin's Creed the
it's
Ezio
its own
collection.
game on PlayStation.
Yeah.
If it's like trophies lists and everything. So.
I mean, but then they put Ezio collection. Anyway, Saints Row 4 re-elected for PS4. Saints Row Get Out of Hell, which is awful, and me and Pengels have played that on stream before. Spirit of the North Enhanced Edition for PS5. Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure for PS4 to rival Peppa Pig. Jumanji the video game for PS4, which is famously the Western version of Death Stranding, Craig, as you know. Paw Patrol on a roll, so the Paw Patrol is coming to both systems. But this might be a different game though for PS4. And Ready Set Heroes for PS4. And your classic games this month for PS Plus Premium are No Heroes Allowed, which is a PSP strange title, but it's a PSP title, and Loco Roco Midnight Carnival for PSP, which is the Dark Souls of Loco Roco games, Pengy. So
yeah,
I think a pretty good first month. Still don't think it makes Premium all that exciting, because everything apart from those classic games is available on Extra, I believe. So, but yeah, I think obviously the big one here, and obviously the trailer you're seeing right now if you're watching the show, is Stray on Tuesday, Pengy. Are we excited?
Yeah, like basically Stray is literally the game with why I've got my now got Plus sort of thing, because I'm excited about that game, and it's like 25 quid, so it's going to be sort of like a one and done game. I'll play it, get the story, get a bunch of trophies and stuff like that. So I'm happy to just subscribe and play it through the Plus, then buying it.
Yeah, it's. I think Stray is the very first instance of Game Pass syndrome for the new PS Plus. Yeah. So it's still a young service, but it's very much the first time that it's like, oh, this game's coming to it. It's worth the month on its own, and then you'll play the other games. It's really cool to see all the Ubisoft classic games come, and I hope that it keeps coming. Like, I hope next month we get maybe both the Watch Dogs games, maybe Rayman, like that kind of thing. But yeah, as for Stray, probably one of my most anticipated games of the year. All year has been on my fantasy. It was one of the first picks I think I had last year or this year on Fantasy Critic. And it just looks like a fun game. Like, it's Annapurna, so we know it should be a certain level of quality. We know the achievements and trophies are going to be very doable, Pengy.
Yeah, there's a few, like, I think from what I read, it has to be done in real time. It's like sleep for an hour with the cat, so
I can have a nap, not a problem.
You just have to
put the controller down and go do something else.
Yeah, but then your PlayStation you forgot to turn off sleep mode or something, and then you've left your controller inactive for half an hour, and it turns itself off or something silly like that. But yeah,
nothing a rubber band can't fix, Pengy. Trust me, as someone who's done Dirt 5 3 times. But yeah. Does anything else catch your eye, Pengy?
Not really out of that list. Maybe the Hero game on from the PSP as possible, but I don't really care about the Assassin's Creed games, and definitely don't care about Saints Row. So
yeah, because Saints Row 3 remastered, the PS4 and the PS5 ports are already on the service. So that's one that tempts me. The one on here that does low-key tempt me is Marvel's Avengers, because there's been a lot of content added recently. We had Jane, or Mighty Thor, added. Yeah. If I timed this perfectly for the correct trailer, Craigo, I haven't, but it's okay. Final Fantasy's come up. But so we've got that. I believe there's another Bucky Barnes, right? The Winter Soldier has just had some DLC announced. And what we played of it, we quite enjoyed. I think, did you play it, Craig, in the end?
I finished the main story. It is such a strange, odd game. The live service, like, loot aspects of it are just so bizarre and unnecessary and, like, half-assed that it is mind-blowing that they even bothered. The actual, like, combat itself is quite fun and flashy, but it does get quite repetitive after a while. And, like, you are just beating up, like, robots. Like, there's very little kind of diversity in what you're actually fighting. But yeah, it's fun if you just want to play, like, the main story and it's not that long, and just go through it like that. But it's fine. It's not a must play, I would definitely say.
No, that's fair. That's fair, and I kind of agree from what we played.
Mm.
The other big hitter on here, obviously, is Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, and really the question on everyone's lips, Pengy, is will this fix my issue?
I don't know.
Where I can't upgrade to the PS4 version because the PS5 version will now be available for free as well. But I will let you know next week, because
I look forward to that update.
Because if that is fixed, then my sort of want to do a platinum run does go up, because I did really enjoy it, but I don't see the point of playing the PS4 version other than to then upload my trophies and get 2 platinums. But I'm not Pengy, that doesn't bother me. A lot of the content I have left to play is on Intermission, the DLC. So as we're showing right now, the weird little mini game that was like weirdly good, like the tower defense mini game. There's a lot of that for me to play, and a lot of the side content is based on Intermission, really, that I need to do. I need like a hard mode run on the main game is about it, really. So
you've got to do some of those extra bosses in the VR.
Yeah, which is all hard mode stuff, right? So that would be fun. But yeah, other than that, again, Assassin's Creed. I might go back to Assassin's Creed 2 because I started that on PS4, but I doubt it. But yeah,
Assassin's Creed 2 is awesome. It's one of the better of the old ones, definitely.
It's just it has aged, obviously, and I've just got a lot of games to play, as we're going to talk about in this.
I think I played it like really far after launch as well. I played it when it was one of the first games for Gold Games ever. I played it like years after launch, and I thought it was really good. But it's good to see that like Stray and that is in this, and hopefully that's something they keep doing going forward. Like the indie games that PlayStation's have these deals with, hopefully this can keep falling into the service. It keeps feeding it, doesn't it? And you do need to feed these services because people will consume the content at an incredible rate.
As we're going to talk about subscriptions in a minute, Craigo, I do agree with you, but I think for indies you have to now match Xbox, because Xbox does such a good job with their indies. Because let's be honest, the indies are what keeps Game Pass going at the moment. That PlayStation having Stray, like when are we seeing Chichery come to this service? When are we seeing those kind of games that have these sort of PlayStation based deals come forward? You know, which one of them is going to get Cuphead first? That's the question. For years we've always presumed it would be Xbox, but is it time?
And then
any of us play
Nintendo.
I've always said that if it comes to free, like the reason I've never bought it in a sale is because I've always been like, it's going to come to Game Pass the second I do. If it comes to Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, I will play it, because it's I like 2D platformers, and it's cool and it's hard, hard.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a bash if it comes to a service, but that's about it.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Anyway, so let's move on to our topic of the show, Pengy top, and that is really about subscriptions, because it's our favourite thing to talk about, and we've just talked about it in the updates. So, are subscriptions becoming the new backlog? And so what I mean by that question is there any point anymore buying more than the odd game? And you know what I mean? Like back in the day, and this doesn't go for all of us present for reasons that you've watched the show, but is there any point in buying every single little release anymore? Or is it a case of let's buy 4 or 5 games a year? And now there's so many games in these subscriptions that they kind of become the backlog. So first, but let's hear from Pengy. So Pengy, because I know you're not a tremendous lover of all of the subscription stuff all the time. So how do you feel about subscription games kind of taking over from you having to buy every single game that comes out?
Yeah, it is good. Like Stray is a great example. I don't have to, buy that game. I can subscribe to Plus and stuff of that, and then I can look and see what else is on the service. And so at the moment, because I've only just got it, I'm downloading Ape Escape, Siphon Filter, Tekken 2 and stuff like that. A lot of the PS1 classics on there, and even I Am Dead I'm downloading from Annapurna because I've not played that sort of thing. So there is stuff on there. But would I have played any of these games or bought? I Am Dead is an Annapurna game. I've not bought it. And would I have bought it without the service? Most probably not. Would I bought Tekken 2? Most probably not. Either without having Stray on there. I still think it has to have something to entice you for the service, the sort of thing. I was looking at Game Pass earlier. There's a few things I got downloaded, like Tunic and Trek to Yomi, that I may play, but I'm not in a hurry sort of play. Like Dust Falls is the same thing, but as I'm going to be on like my Xbox that day because you've got the Horizon DLC, I will most probably play, download and give Dust Falls a go. Sort of thing. I still think you need to have like that enticed game to bring you to the service on there.
That's fair. That's fair. Obviously, at the moment they have very different approaches. The sort of the big two, because you can kind of include Nintendo in this, but it's really more their classic games that are on their service.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, but they got Pokemon Snap, so yeah.
They do have Pokemon Snap, but like PlayStation seems to be very much looking for third-party deals and indies. They finally starting to look at that, and then the odd of their game seems to go on. There's no rhyme or reason. Like I don't know why Returnal's on there, but Sackboy isn't, for example. So, bit strange. But yeah, Craig, you're the Xbox expert, which is really hard to say quickly. So also you've played a lot of Game Pass games. Do you feel like that has completely taken any opportunity for you to have a backlog, especially on Xbox?
Oh yeah, mate, 100%. Are you saying about only buying like 3 or 4 games a year? I think I bought 5 games last year on Xbox. And I think this year, obviously, I bought games on Switch because I just just bought the platform. But I think I've only bought 1 game on Xbox this year. Looking at my true achievements, and that wasn't even a game that came out this year. That was Cyberpunk. I think that was just because they did the
and Far Cry, right?
Yeah, of course, Far Cry. Yeah, so yeah,
I've forgotten about it twice now, Craig.
Yeah, it's because I'm just looking at my true achievements, looking back at what I played. So yeah, it definitely means you don't have to buy like games like crazy, which is good. I just love the convenience of it. I just love this is on Game Pass, I'll give that a go. For me, and the kind of the playing the random stuff like Chorus that I never would have played. That is definitely one of the bigger appeals. In terms of backlogs, I don't think I've ever been a person to buy a lot of games and then not play them. So it's not really changed that for me. But I could definitely see how it would change it for people because, I know you two in particular in the past guilty of the old buying loads of games and not playing them. But it's kind of takes away the need to do that, I think, these subscription services.
Yeah.
And as Sony continues to grow theirs and support theirs, probably start doing it on there. I do wonder with the Sony one, like I was saying about how fast people consume the content. It's always much faster than you think. Even on things like Netflix, like people will there'll be a show that comes out and people will binge it in 2 days, and they'll be like, right, what's next?
Yeah.
And I do wonder with the Sony one, like I feel like they're going to have to put some like first party stuff, even if it's not like the Gods of War, stuff like that. Maybe the smaller games because otherwise it's just going to be so hard to keep people like busy, keep people excited and coming back to it.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like I subscribed for the month for Stray, but after I've played Stray, like I said, I've downloaded things from some.
That would be like 2 days for you, Pengy. That'd be like Stray's done 2 days. Right, what's next?
Yeah, and I've downloaded some older, classic titles, but as soon as my subscription runs out on the whatever the day is today, the 17th of August, am I renewing it? Why am I renewing it? What are you giving me in August, PlayStation? So yeah, I definitely want to know what's sort of coming to the surface. And I have bought this year. I don't think I've bought a single PlayStation game or a single Xbox game, like physical or anything like that. Okay, there hasn't been a huge lot I want to play. I haven't bought Elden Ring, and I know I have rented Strangers of Paradise and The Quarry, and I've currently got Horizon Forbidden West. So there has been titles, but I've not gone out and in a hurry to buy them. Like I said, I've got them in a rental. The only stuff that I've bought, okay, I've still bought a lot of games, but they've all been Nintendo's, on Nintendo Switch because there is no other option to get, Mario Strikers. The only way you can get that game is to buy that game. There's no subscription or anything like that. It mostly will go down in price at some point, like tennis and golf and stuff like that. But most Nintendo games don't go down in price that much. Like Pokemon Legends, I presume, is still 40 quid most places. So outside of Nintendo, if you take out the stuff on Switch, even I've not bought a huge not this year, and I have played a lot of games. Like, I think I've finished like 32 games now, so it's not like, oh, I've not played anything either.
Yeah, I mean, with Sony and their games, I think you're right. Like, I've said this. I think I said this last week, maybe the week before. Like, I do worry that once everything's on there, it's done. Like, what do you do? And then maybe that's why they've saved Ratchet and Clank and Sackboy and Gran Turismo and that kind of, like, they'll get trickled out. Like this, I think they do need the indies for sure. I think with PlayStation more than anyone is they have such a hole because of their classic games, because they've not been massively available throughout the last 2 gens. So Xbox has been able to wheel out the 360 games and the original Xbox games that they've had programs in place for, if that makes sense. And obviously Nintendo just has Nintendo, or they're built off nostalgia, so they've been able to N64 this time. GameCube will be the next console. You know what I mean? So like it is interesting with Sony, like, because they are going about it really weirdly at the minute. Like the games they've put on there are not close to what I would consider the big hitters, especially the ones with trophies. So I do wonder, like, if because that has such scope to expand on PS1 and PS2 and to hopefully maybe PS3, that they could do that. But I think they do need to invest in these things. Like they've got the trials, which is okay, that's fine, but it's not. No, I personally don't use them and haven't had the urge
No, I
to
was
use them.
looking at Tiny Tina's Wonderland sort of thing, but then I like thought, well, I play it for the trial. I played it 5 hours. Am I gonna buy it? Most probably not, and it's
No.
not in the service, so I was like, yeah, I'll just leave it.
Yeah, and it's like I don't need it. I also haven't bought a game this year, so I don't want to be tempted myself. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it's interesting. PlayStation seems to have woken up to the fact that they need to do more. So the fact that PlayStation Stars has been announced, the fact that we've got this big list of games in there, and if you're new to the system or you're new to the service, there's some good games in it, like Black Flag. We talk about all the time. Me and Craig, is a fantastic game still. Valhalla's on there as well. Red Dead Redemption 2's on there. If you've got PS5, you get Demon's Souls, Returnal, Overcooked, like good games. Good games that are on there. So Miles Morales, the stuff like that. So it is interesting, and I am curious what is next month gonna look like for PlayStation. So Xbox has kind of got their groove, like you said. They've got the little update this time. They've got the big games coming at the end of the month. You've got DLC for their games coming out this month as well. I'm curious next month, where do they go? Because as far as I'm aware, there isn't a Stray-like game announced for August at the moment. So
No,
we'll see.
I think Xbox, we know 2 Point Campus is in August. I don't know if there's anything else announced for August, but it's bound to be something.
Yeah, Xbox is reliable now. They're not reliable for their own games. First party, absolutely not. But Game Pass, we know we're going to get something.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking at August now, and I don't think there's anything like confirmed for Xbox that's like definitely Game Pass day one. But like, so that there'll be like older stuff that comes that maybe came out like 6 months ago or something like that.
Yeah, and
So
obviously
you can.
Ubisoft keep putting their games on everyone's services, so we'll probably get some more Ubisoft stuff from both. EA, obviously EA Play's involved with them, so will we get Battlefield? Will Battlefield finally come to EA Play? That's one of those things that could happen. So yeah, I think it's a curious time. But like the main gist of this conversation, I think subscriptions are here to stay. They're not going to go away now. They're working. I think all the companies involved are happy with how they're going. So. And us as gamers and consumers, we're getting the best deal, aren't we? Like, I think both services are a good deal right now. I don't think PlayStation is a great deal yet, but I think it could be. I think the final tier is the real issue. I think the final tier needs some work. I think you need more classic games. If classic games are going to be the main reason to get premium, there needs to be a lot more of them, because they're not long. I mean, everybody's Ape Escape took me 6.5 hours. Everybody's Golf was going to take me about 10 hours. Like Siphon Filter was going to take me about 5 hours. You know what I mean? There's nothing on there that I'm putting a lot of time in when you compare to like Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
And
I do wonder
Age
if
of
there's
Empires.
much motivation for them to like actually improve it though, because I feel like if you're subscribing for that, you're kind of like the hardcore of the hardcore. You're probably already subscribed. I don't think putting like more classic games will get like your subscription numbers up massively.
It's not going to be that. It's more the Twitter warriors. You still want the good PR.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't see it like bringing a lot of like new people in. I think you do need the newer games for that. Like I said, I just feel like if you're already subscribed, like I don't think that's going to bring you in for it. I think that's something for the hardcore to kind of like. I don't see them been that motivated to improve it like that quickly.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I think it's also the games on there at the moment, like Ape Escapes and Siphon Filters, are very much hardcore PlayStation fans that would know about this. I think if they put something like Metal Gear Solid on there with trophies, I think that would get a few people in just because of how big the series is. And like Resident Evil Director's Cut hasn't got trophies, but if they put Resident Evil 2 sort of on there possibly. I can see like big series drawing people in, especially if they had like trophies and stuff and there's improvements. But I can't see, like Craig said, I can't see like, oh, next week we know like the PSP game, no more heroes or what? No, it's not more heroes, no heroes allowed or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I can't see anyone apart from like PlayStation, hardcore fans knowing what that is and being excited for that because it's such a weird
I had to
game.
look it up. Like I've
Yeah, I
owned
knew it was
every,
a PSP game.
I've owned every PlayStation console that's ever been made, and I was still like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, but I can't, like I said, I can't see that bringing anyone in. But I can see a Metal Gear Solid, I can see a Resident Evil, I can see a Silent Hill, all the sort of like the
Yeah.
weird,
Well,
like the
Dino
bigger
Crisis
PlayStation.
is rumored for next month for the end
Dino
of the month, isn't it?
Crisis.
Dino Crisis and Ridge Racer 2. So that would be. I mean, Ridge Racer 2. If the PSP Ridge Racer had trophies, I'd play it because it's a really good game. But
Yeah,
and
not
also
even on here. I've not even seen it on here.
it's not on here. It is it was leaked by PlayStation Italy.
Yeah,
Had like more games than they were supposed to and had like artwork, so it's definitely true. But they've gone too early. But yeah, I mean, obviously the other thing with it as well, it's the inconsistent with the trophies. Either make them all with trophies or none of them with trophies. It doesn't make any sense to have 5 PlayStation 1 games with trophies and then 5 without.
yeah, I know. This is the like
Because that's what the hardcore want, Craigo. We want our trophies and our Chivos.
Yeah, this is the thing that in like the ones with trophies are like your Siphon Filters and Ape Escape, the PlayStation. From PlayStation, where like Tekken is from Namco, and obviously I presume Namco's like, well, we're not going to put effort in. It is the game.
It's just that problem is that we know if this was Xbox, they would have offered to do it for them. They would have been like, yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry about it. Just let us have your game, and we'll give Resident Evil. We'll give Tekken 2, which is a PlayStation exclusive. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But anyway,
I guess it is probably quite difficult to retrofit like trophies.
It's at an emulation. It's at an emulation level. That's how they've done it with everyone else. Like, they haven't touched the code. It's an emulation trigger. So it's not. I mean, I'm used to be a game developer. Doesn't mean I know anything, but it's not. It's not as difficult as what they're doing with the Xbox and all of the like visual updates. But again, it's machine learning. So it's a algorithm that they have made that makes the emulation do what it does, right? So
yeah.
But again, if you're gonna do it, like you're a big company, like if you're gonna do it. But we'll see. We'll see how the service goes. Again, it's its first month, so I'm not gonna be too critical.
Especially that we know like PlayStation set up like a I just not called backwards compatible team though, but they set up some legacy team like
they have a little studio that's doing this for them. So.
Yeah, it's like what's that little studio could be like. I know it's a small studio, but maybe they could start adding, the trophies and stuff to games. I don't know.
And some companies and some teams that I suspect, like Studio Bend, were probably more than happy to help out to put Siphon Theatre's name back out there. You know what I mean? So, and obviously they do a lot of those games have been Japan Studio games. So it's like Team Asobi, as they're now known, more than happy to help hardware and software for the platforms, aren't they? Because all their games that's what they do. So but that is the show, boys. This has been episode 47. We've changed the format. If you like this new format, if you've made it this far, please go in the comments and let us know. Let us know how you feel about subscriptions. Let us know if you're excited for Peppa Pig or Stray, whichever it tickles your fancy. And we will see you next week, where I'm sure we will have some wonderful topics. Craig will have bought 2 consoles and 800 games, and Pengles will have renounced gaming and become a born-again Christian, because that is the way it seems to be going. So yes, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.